Tired of feeling tired? Today, we're going to dive into the science of unlocking true energy. So, we've all had our moments where, despite optimizing our sleep, nutrition, and fitness, our energy levels still feel off. That's definitely been my experience. I just recently came back from a trip to Asia. And because I had food poisoning, I was suffering especially hard from the jet lag. And even though I've been trying to eat well, get back to the gym, and sleep optimally, I've just been feeling way more tired. So I decided to prepare today's episode to help not only my listeners, but also in my own interest. I wanted to refocus on this topic, which is both so much based on foundational practices that we've spoken about before here on the Longevity Show, but also there's a lot of advanced interventions that many people are not aware of, but are used commonly in the longevity world or for the performance circuit, such as for athletes. So maintaining consistent energy is crucial, again, not just for daily performance, but for your long-term health. It impacts everything from our focus and stamina to our overall well-being and our experience of life. And this becomes even more important as we age because energy does decrease with age, and I'll go into the details about why. Energy isn't just about feeling good today, it's about supporting health span in the long term. So recently, I've been exploring more these advanced interventions from longevity science, like NAD plus precursors, mitochondrial boosters, peptides, and senolytics. Tools that go beyond the basics to optimize energy production and enhance vitality over the long term. So in today's episode, we'll be discussing foundational habits like sleep, nutrition, and movement, and we'll also be diving into cutting-edge strategies such as NAD plus boosters, like I mentioned, and mitochondrial enhancers such as CoQ10, PQQ, and Urolithin A. We'll also tease a little bit part two because this turned out to be such an informative and jam-packed episode that I'm going to need to do a part two. But I'll talk a little bit about how we're going to explore hormonal support and senolytic compounds for future episodes. So whether you're seeking daily energy improvements or looking for a long-term boost, my hope is that this episode will provide you with actionable insights. So let's dive into core nutritional and lifestyle habits to lay the groundwork. These foundational practices are key to maintaining consistent energy levels and overall health, regardless of whether you ever go on into the more advanced interventions that we'll talk about later. First, blood sugar and diet. Maintaining stable blood sugar levels is crucial for sustaining energy throughout the day. A diet rich in proteins and fibers and healthy fats, as well as complex carbohydrates, rather than simple sugars such as refined sugars, desserts, pastries, and so forth, will help prevent the sharp fluctuations in blood sugar that often lead to energy crashes. So you can think of your body like a high-performance car. The food you eat is the fuel, and the quality of that fuel determines how well your energy runs. So junk food is like a low-grade fuel. It'll get you through the day, but you're going to burn out faster, and your body's going to wear down much faster long-term. So choosing fiber-rich whole foods will regulate that insulin response, providing that more sustained energy compared to processed high glycemic foods. We talk about this all the time, but I just wanted to emphasize it in this discussion about energy because, again, it comes to play in a very real way for how you experience life, your energy levels, and of course, your long-term health. Hydration, of course, is another fundamental aspect that is often underlooked. Even mild dehydration can reduce your blood flow and oxygen delivery to the brain, and that leads to that sluggish feeling and impaired cognition, that impaired thinking that you might get if you haven't been adequately hydrating. So it's so simple and easy. Just aim to get about half your body weight, measured in pounds, in ounces of water throughout the day. If you don't want to do the calculation and the math, 8 cups a day is fine. Get a big water bottle and drink consistently through the day. Make sure that you're also getting adequate electrolytes in your hydration, especially if you're exercising frequently or if you live in a particularly hot climate. Time-restricted eating is an intervention that we often use as well to help boost energy. So it does turn out that this can impact your energy levels. So time-restricted eating involves just limiting your food intake to a specific window of time. So that's typically between 4 to 10 hours in a day, and that can have significant benefits for your metabolic health and energy levels. So there are studies that do show that TRE can improve markers such as body weight, fat mass, and insulin sensitivity. A 2022 meta-analysis did find that TRE significantly reduced the body weight and fat mass, particularly in people who were overweight. And it improved metrics such as fasting glucose levels and lipid profiles, such as lowering triglycerides and total cholesterol. If you're new to TRE, start with a 12-hour eating window and gradually reduce it. I know for me, since I came back from travel recently, I am definitely going back to the 12-hour window rather than going to a more strict level, which sometimes I'll do an 8-hour or even 6-hour window when I'm really gunning for time-restricted eating styles. But again, remember, this is all about what you can do consistently. And if you're stressed out about it, if it's impacting your social life, your relationships, relax your boundaries a little bit, but sticking to the 12-hour eating window gives your body enough time to rest your gut and to get your metabolic house in order. In studies, it actually has been shown that early time-restricted eating, or ETRE, where the eating window is placed earlier in the day, appears to offer even greater benefits. That means you start your eating earlier in the day, so you don't necessarily skip breakfast, but you might skip or have a very early dinner. And that does have even superior improvements in your body weight, body fat, insulin resistance, and glucose levels compared to a wider, longer, later eating window. And I just want to bring this up because I've been thinking about this so much lately. TRE has also been linked to better mood and reduced fatigue. So that subjective experience of life is so important. In longevity, some people are so hyper-focused on what can extend your lifespan to a level which I find to be emotionally unhealthy. We have to remember that it's about our experience of life, putting the life in the years that you have. That is essentially the most important thing. In fact, in studies, TRE has been shown to improve that mood, your emotional experience of life. So I love it for that reason. And there's even specific findings showing that TRE will reduce specific negative moods, such as anger. If you're thinking about that late night snack, I know it can feel like a short-term relief. You just want to break open that bag of Doritos at night. Just think about how you might feel the next day. You don't want to trigger this vicious cycle by having late night snacks and feeling worse the next day and then needing more snacks at the end of the day. So it's one of those small steps that you can take to help improve your mood and energy long term. Sleep and recovery, of course, is one of the most important tools for sustaining energy. Without belaboring this topic, because we've had other episodes focused on sleep and rest, aim for that 7-ish hours of sleep a day. Focus on your sleep hygiene, such as a consistent sleep schedule, minimizing exposure to blue light before bed, and creating an ideal sleep environment that is cool, dark, and quiet. Get a separate bed from your partner if you need, or even a separate room. Use a noise-canceling headphones, or perhaps like me, just get a really loud fan or air purifier to help drown out your sleep partner's snoring or breathing or moving around. That is crucial for maintaining a healthy, natural circadian rhythm and improving your energy levels. I've mentioned in a prior episode, but using wearable technology like an Oura Ring or an Apple Watch, or even just apps like Athletic, can provide insights in your sleep quality and help you identify patterns to optimize your rest. Studies do show that sleep tracking can help improve perceived sleep quality, especially when combined with sleep hygiene practices. However, for people who are dealing with insomnia, it does seem that sleep trackers have a mixed outcome. So it doesn't seem to worsen overall sleep anxiety, but the ability to significantly improve sleep for people with real insomnia remains somewhat unclear. So work with a healthcare professional if you're dealing with severe insomnia. You may benefit from a trial of a medical intervention, for example. Physical activity is essential as well for boosting energy levels. And this goes into a big part of today's episode, where I'm going to be talking about our mitochondria. So physical activity will boost circulation, enhance your mitochondrial function, and improve your overall energy levels. So exercise stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis. So that's a process of creating new mitochondria. If this is the first time you're hearing it, mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell. So you can think of them as providing energy to our cells, and the cells make up our body. So you need lots of healthy mitochondria in order to have energy to do all of the processes of living. The way that exercise stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis, or the creation of new mitochondria, is by activating key signaling pathways such as PGC-1 alpha. for those of you who really want to dive deep into the science. So this increases the number of the powerhouses, the mitochondria in muscle cells, and allows for greater energy production and endurance. So exercise is also important for improving mitochondrial dynamics, fusion and fission. So fusion helps dilute damaged mitochondrial components, while fission aids in removing defective mitochondria through mitophagy. We've talked about autophagy before, autophagy. That means cleanup of the cells, auto cleanup. And mitophagy is a parallel process where we're cleaning up the mitochondria. So this ensures that cells maintain a healthy population of mitochondria for optimal function. You don't want old, retired, and non-functioning mitochondria hanging around, because that will dilute the efficiency of the powerhouses. If you get regular low-intensity movement throughout the day, this will maintain energy levels and avoid that fatigue that can come from long periods of inactivity. If you've been sitting at your desk for a long period of time, taking short walks or stretch breaks every hour can actually make a significant difference. And this is advice I need to listen to more myself, but incorporating outdoor activity and exposing yourself to natural light whenever possible can really help regulate your energy cycles, regulate your body's internal clock, circadian rhythm, and enhance your alertness during the day and promote better sleep at night. So even during a lunch break, for example, just take a short walk outside and boost your energy and mental clarity. So let's dive into some of the more advanced interventions for energy. NAD precursors, or NMN versus NR. This is a big topic, and I want to provide a broad introduction today, but it's worthy of its own episode at another time. NAD plus is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is like the fuel that powers your cellular engines. It plays a crucial role in energy production within your mitochondria, so those powerhouses, like I mentioned, while also supporting DNA repair and other critical processes related to aging and overall health. So as we age, NAD plus levels naturally decline, leading to sluggish mitochondrial function, DNA damage accumulation, and cellular dysfunction. So this decline is a major contributor to many signs of aging, those that you can feel, such as your fatigue, those that you might see, such as your metabolic slowdown. Like, people complain all the time, like, why does it feel like my metabolism is slowing down with age? And then there's also cognitive decline. So when we talk about energy, we're not just talking about your muscles and how you're feeling that way, but it's your brain as well. So if you've ever felt like your brain is just not as sharp as it used to be, it may be due to this natural decline in your energy efficiency, and it can be tied to this process involving the NAD plus system. So NAD plus works through two important pathways. It helps with energy production by facilitating something called the redox reactions. This might be an interesting topic for people who are more familiar with biochemistry, but just as a quick overview, redox reductions involve the transfer of electrons, which is essential for creating ATP, which is the energy currency of the body. Also, NAD plus serves as a substrate for enzymes such as sirtuins and PARPs, PARP. And these are involved in DNA repair and stress response regulation. So as our NAD plus levels decrease with age, our cells can't perform these essential functions as efficiently, and this leads to chronic fatigue, slower recovery from physical activity, and an increased risk of metabolic and age-related diseases. So NAD plus is that fuel, that oil in your car's engine, and without enough, the engine is not going to run as smoothly, and it will lead to wear and tear over time. So the question becomes, how do we boost NAD plus levels to keep the engine running efficiently? On the market, there are two key NAD plus precursors available: NMN, which is nicotinamide mononucleotide, and NR, nicotinamide riboside. These can help top up your NAD plus levels, and both are converted into NAD plus inside the cells. They do so with slightly different routes, so I'm going to go over these quickly. And they also each have different bioavailability, so the different amount that's available to you when you're consuming them. They also, at different doses, have different effectiveness, and there's a lot of new research still. So I'm still following the new research, and it's being investigated for certain use cases as well. NMN is the direct precursor to NAD+, and is converted into NAD+ via the enzyme NAMPT, nicotinamide phosphoribosyltransferase. So Interestingly, recent research has shown that NMN can be directly transported into the cells through a specific transporter called SLC12A8. So previously we didn't know that, and we thought that NMN was just not that bioavailable. But this new research shows that it indeed is bioavailable to our cells. It challenges that previous belief that NMN needed to be converted to NR first before entering our cells. Research has shown that NMN supplementation can indeed boost our NAD plus levels in various tissues, including the muscles, the brain, and the liver, leading to improved mitochondrial function and energy production. It's particularly beneficial for enhancing glucose metabolism, muscle strength, and endurance. A 2021 study did find that NMN supplementation improved aerobic capacity and oxygen use in older adults. And that signaled its potential to improve energy levels, especially for an aging population. NMN's level to increase NAD plus levels directly makes it a strong candidate for boosting our mitochondrial energy production. And by doing so, it could increase the ATP production. So you can think of it as generating more fuel for your cells. It can also reduce oxidative stress. Remember, oxidation is that rusting that occurs in our cells, and it can support cellular repair. So these are all key factors for maintaining consistent energy as you age. So if you're looking to improve your endurance, muscle recovery, or just simple everyday energy levels throughout the day, you could consider NMN as a supplement. NR, on the other hand, is another precursor that we often use and we study for the purposes of mitochondrial boosting. It's the more well-established precursor in human clinical research, and it has been shown to boost NAD plus levels effectively across different tissue types, including in the brain and skeletal muscles. So it's been extensively studied and shown to improve metabolic health, reduce inflammation, and even enhance cognitive function. In a 2016 study, for example, it did significantly increase NAD plus levels in middle-aged and older adults and improved metabolic functions without adverse effects. It's also been shown to have neuroprotective properties, so it's a potential candidate for preventing cognitive decline as we age. Like NMN, NR supports mitochondrial energy production by increasing the NAD plus level, and it improves insulin sensitivity and enhances mitochondrial function. Its effects on the brain and metabolic health make it a particularly useful tool for those of you who are looking to enhance both physical and cognitive energy, or if you're just dealing with age-related fatigue or trying to improve that daily energy output. So I wanted to dig into the differences that you're going to read about if you're looking for these supplements online. So NR has a proven track record for bioavailability in human studies, whereas NMN's bioavailability was initially questioned but later supported by that discovery I mentioned of that transporter. So it was questioned a bit more, but nowadays we're accepting that they're both pretty bioavailable. In clinical research, NR has been studied more extensively in humans, particularly for metabolic and cognitive health benefits. NMN has shown promising results, especially in animal models and early human trials, but doesn't have quite the depth of human research. I'm pretty optimistic, however. It's just the research studies haven't quite been done. NR is typically less expensive and more widely available and more accessible. NMN is typically seen more in the physical endurance and muscle recovery world, like the athletic fitness world. So you might see that more. This is like a marketing thing. I think we're all figuring out which supplement is best for what. We also do have some evolution now. So currently they're both available over the counter as dietary supplements in many countries, including the US. So you don't need a prescription. However, NMN is being investigated as a drug for certain medical indications. And so the FDA has indicated that it doesn't want NMN to be available over the counter anymore. So you'll probably see some changes if you're in the US regarding the availability of NMN as a supplement. There's different forms of administration as well, capsules and tablets orally, or sublingual tablets as well. So there's some thought that sublingual NR, for example, allows for faster absorption and higher bioavailability. There's also powders that you can mix with drinks to make a smoothie or a beverage. There's also highly variable doses. We see anything from 250 milligrams to above 1,000 milligrams a day for both NMN and NR. You're going to see a lot of different recommendations, and there's going to be studies supporting all of the above. Luckily, it doesn't appear that these variable doses are harmful in the studies that have been performed. So that's a good thing. So even though there's a huge variation in the doses that are used, it does seem that we haven't seen significant adverse effects. So I will make an important note that even though there aren't serious adverse effects, some people do have some bad side effects. So you can get some nausea, headaches, or even paradoxically, some people might feel more fatigued. So this is something that you probably want to work with a health professional with, even though it's an over-the-counter supplement in most cases. It's just important to let your doctor know what you're trying, and they can help guide you if you're having bothersome side effects. There's also a fun fact. NR is actually an alternate form of vitamin B3, which is called niacin. And niacin was previously used a lot more, but it does cause this notorious facial flushing. So not a lot of people like it. And NR luckily does not seem to cause this flushing. You can get boosts of NMN, NR through certain food, but it's pretty low dose, so I find it's not super practical. But for people who want to gain more just through their diet, you can get it from avocados, broccoli, cabbage, tomatoes, and raw beef. But it's very unlikely that this is going to provide quite enough NMN to significantly boost your NAD plus levels. But if you're having a whole food and balanced diet anyways, it doesn't hurt to include these, and it may even help. So, but just to give you an idea, this is going to give you on the order of half or at most 1 milligram per 100 grams of each of these types of foods. So that's pretty small compared to the amount that you would get through the direct supplementation. So that was a really interesting dive into NAD plus boosters. So let's talk about the next big topic, which are mitochondrial boosters such as CoQ10, PQQ, and Urolithin A. So while NAD plus precursors like NMN and NR are key for boosting cellular energy, other advanced mitochondrial enhancers can further optimize energy production, improve your physical performance, and slow age-related declines in muscle function. So these sometimes are lesser discussed compounds in the world of longevity, but they're still very important. And I find that they might be more practical for people who are dealing with everyday fatigue and want a little bit of boost in their energy. These hold a lot of promise for energy optimization and longevity. So I'm going to dive into them in a little bit of detail here. CoQ10 or coenzyme Q10 is a well-studied supplement that plays an essential role in mitochondrial energy production. So it's involved in the electron transport chain where it facilitates the production of ATP. Again, that's the energy currency of the cell. CoQ10 is particularly crucial in tissues with high energy demands, such as the heart and muscles. However, as we age again, these CoQ10 levels naturally decline, which leads to reduced mitochondrial efficiency and lower energy production. There have been so many studies about CoQ10, and to be honest, there's still some ongoing debate about whether we should broadly recommend CoQ10. But I wanted to show in this episode today some of the evidence that does support its use. So studies have shown that CoQ10 supplementation can reduce fatigue and improve energy levels, particularly with people who have low baseline levels. There was, for example, a systematic review of randomized control trials, RCTs, so those are the most stringent trials in biomedicine, which confirmed that CoQ10 supplementation significantly reduced fatigue scores, particularly at higher doses and for longer durations. So this suggests its efficacy for a wide range of people, including those with chronic fatigue, athletes, and even older adults. In terms of cardiovascular health, heart health, CoQ10 has also shown promise in improving mitochondrial function, reducing oxidative stress, and improving endothelial function, which are all critical for heart health. It's even been linked to better outcomes for patients with heart failure, although effects on specific cardiovascular risk factors such as blood pressure and cholesterol are less clear. So this is where you're going to run into a lot of debate and controversy in the field, because I think it comes to we don't study specific enough use cases and apply very specific doses for specific populations. This is a broad problem in health and longevity especially, where you really need nuanced studies, nuanced questions, and nuanced interpretation of outcomes to see what one should do with particular interventions. So in athletes, CoQ10 supplementation has been linked to better plasma antioxidant activity, reduce oxidative stress, and improve performance, particularly for anaerobic exercises. Aerobic uses oxygen, anaerobic does not use the oxygen. And this makes CoQ10 a powerful supplement for improving both energy and supporting physical performance during high intensity activities. So let's talk about ubiquinol. Ubiquinol is the reduced form of CoQ10. So that just means it's a different version of CoQ10 that's undergone a chemical reaction in the body. That change actually makes ubiquinol a far more bioavailable substance. So your body can absorb and use it more efficiently compared to regular forms of CoQ10. So this increased bioavailability makes ubiquinol particularly beneficial for older adults or those who have difficulty absorbing CoQ10. So research shows that ubiquinol supplementation can significantly reduce fatigue and improve energy levels, even with healthy individuals experiencing just mild fatigue. So in one double-blind placebo-controlled study, doses of 100 to 150 milligrams per day did lead already to improvements in energy levels and cognitive task performance. Animal studies have also demonstrated ubiquinol's ability to reduce fatigue markers such as serum lactate and creatine kinase levels, CK levels, which are elevated after exercise. So these findings suggest that ubiquinol helps with energy production during physical exertion, contributing to better endurance and recovery. So the doses are, again, a little bit all over the place, but for CoQ10, especially the regular form ubiquinol, doses typically range from that 100 milligram to 300 milligrams per day. This does seem sufficient to reduce fatigue and improve energy levels, particularly with people with low baseline levels or people who are on statins. So statins, interestingly, can deplete CoQ10. So you see in some practices combining CoQ10 with the use of statins. Statins are still a very, very important tool that we use for lowering bad lipid levels. So if you are somebody who struggles with dyslipidemia, like quote unquote high cholesterol or bad lipids, then you definitely want to use all the tools in the toolbox. And that does include statins, but you can kind of mitigate that mitochondrial damage or the deficiency that is introduced with statins with the use of CoQ10 and its variants. There's also, of course, ubiquinol. The doses of 100 to 300 or so milligrams as well have been shown to reduce fatigue and improve cognitive performance. The higher doses at about the 300 milligrams a day are associated with better exercise performance and recovery. So in summary, CoQ10, the ubiquinol form, does already improve mitochondrial energy production, support heart and muscle health, and reduce fatigue. It's particularly useful for people who are dealing with cardiovascular issues or those on statins. Ubiquinol is the more bioavailable form, and it appears to have faster and more efficient absorption, and it's perhaps more ideal for older adults and those with compromised energy production. Similarly, it does reduce fatigue and improve endurance, particularly during exercise. Let's move on to another mitochondrial enhancer called PQQ, pyrroloquinone quinone. All of these have fun names, but PQQ is what we know it by. So PQQ is another mitochondrial enhancer, but its main claim to fame is its ability to stimulate mitochondrial biogenesis, so the creation of new mitochondria. This process is crucial because the more mitochondria your cells have, the more energy they can produce. Going back to the powerhouse analogy, if your cell is a city, if you have more powerhouses, you're going to be able to produce more energy. PQQ activates key pathways such as CREB and PGC1 alpha. So these both are involved in mitochondrial growth and function, making a potent tool for enhancing energy metabolism. Mitochondrial function and energy is also improved because PQQ helps cells produce more ATP, directly boosting cellular energy capacity. Studies have shown that PQQ involves mitochondrial efficiency and energy production, particularly in tissue with high energy demand. So that's, again, typically the muscles and the brain. So in one study, PQQ increased PGC1 alpha expression, improving mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of more mitochondria, and energy metabolism in cells, making it a brilliant and excellent tool or supplement for anyone looking to optimize energy levels. So whether you're an everyday person just looking to have better energy, or if you are an athlete, or if you are somebody experiencing chronic fatigue, this could be a tool to add to your toolbox. PQQ has been shown on that vein to reduce fatigue and improve endurance. So in animal studies, PQQ did prolong the time to exhaustion during exercise, reducing oxidative stress markers and protecting mitochondrial integrity. So this does just offer additional evidence that PQQ can help protect against exercise-induced fatigue and support faster recovery after physical exertion. So to dive in a little bit more into brain health, PQQ does offer significant neuroprotective benefits. So it does, again, promote that mitochondrial biogenesis in brain cells and help neurons maintain energy production and reduce oxidative stress. So in models of neurodegenerative diseases, PQQ has been shown to protect neurons from cell death and increase ATP levels in brain tissue. These neuroprotective effects have been supported by human studies that link PQQ to improvement in cognitive function and reductions in inflammatory markers. Finally, PQQ also plays a role in improving metabolic health. So it positively influences lipid metabolism and energy expenditure. So that makes it useful for people dealing with metabolic disorders such as obesity and type 2 diabetes. And in animal studies, PQQ improved mitochondrial function, reduced triglycerides, and also improved glucose tolerance. So that further supports the use for improving metabolic health and energy balance. The dosing for PQQ typically is about 10 to 20 milligrams a day. And these doses have been shown to improve the generation of new mitochondria and significantly increase that PGC1 alpha protein level. There's also fatigue reduction at that 20 milligram per day dose. And for the brain health, we see a lot of different ways of dosing, but 0.8 to 20 milligram per kilogram per day were effective in the studies. So this is something that you might want to dig into a little bit deeper with a medical professional since it can be highly variable. That 10 to 20 milligram per day as well has been shown to have the metabolic health benefits that we spoke about. In summary, PQQ stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis, so that improves overall energy production and cellular metabolism. PQQ enhances endurance, protects us against fatigue, and supports faster recovery after physical exertion. PQQ also promotes brain health by enhancing mitochondrial function and protects neurons from oxidative damage. It also helps our metabolic health, improving our lipid metabolism and glucose tolerance, so it has benefits for people dealing with metabolic concerns. Let's dive into our final compound for the day. And I'm going to save a lot for the next episode because this is such a weighty topic. I know that I'm getting deep into compounds, and this can be a bit more technical than our usual episode for people who are new to this area of science. Urolithin A, UA, is a compound that is naturally produced by the gut microbiota through the metabolism of ellagic acid and ellagitannins. So these are found in foods like pomegranates, berries, and nuts. So it's garnered a lot of attention for its potential to enhance mitochondrial function, support muscle health, and provide anti-inflammatory benefits, making it a promising tool for improving energy and overall health as we age. So UA, urolithin A, is most recognized for its ability to enhance mitochondrial health by inducing mitophagy. So again, that's the process of selectively removing damaged mitochondria from cells. This process is really important because we want to maintain proper mitochondrial health and efficiency. We want to get rid of the old damaged mitochondria and replace them with new, fresh mitochondria powerhouses to promote better cellular energy, homeostasis, especially as we age. Preclinical and clinical studies both support urolithin A's role in improving mitochondrial function. For example, one study did demonstrate that UA enhanced mitochondrial respiratory capacity and improved exercise performance in rodents and extended lifespan in C. elegans, which is another model organism. In human studies, UA also has shown similar promise. One RCT published in JAMA Open, for example, showed that older adults who took UA supplements experienced improvements in muscle endurance and reductions in biomarkers associated with mitochondrial dysfunction. So by promoting mitophagy, UA helps optimize energy production, leading to enhanced stamina and better recovery from physical activity, particularly in aging individuals. Beyond its effects on mitochondrial health, UA also exhibits powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Chronic low-grade inflammation, which we often call inflammaging because it's so tied to aging. UA has been shown to reduce levels of pro-inflammatory markers such as C-reactive protein. This is a marker that you can get on a routine blood test, by the way. So make sure when you're next getting your lab test, ask your doctor to add on C-reactive protein. It can also reduce certain ceramides in human plasma, helping to mitigate chronic inflammation that comes with age and also with certain conditions. So by reducing inflammation, UA not only protects mitochondrial function, but also supports overall metabolic and immune health, making it a potent tool for improving vitality in later life. One of Urolithin A's standout benefits is its ability to improve muscle strength and endurance, particularly in aging populations. So as we age, you've probably felt this as well. I know I definitely have. Muscle mass and function naturally decline. So this process is called sarcopenia. It actually starts a lot earlier than you imagine, and it does accelerate as we age. So unfortunately, you start to see it more and more. And in your 50s and 60s, it can feel so hard to build additional muscle, and it feels like you're just constantly losing muscle. So one of Urolithin A's benefits is that it can help with reducing this sarcopenia acceleration. Clinical trials do support this. It does significantly enhance muscle endurance, potentially counteracting sarcopenia with age. Preclinical studies in rodents have also shown that UA improves exercise capacity and muscle function, so it can boost physical performance in animals and humans as well. Some new emerging research points to Urolithin A's influence on the gut-muscle axis. So that highlights a really interesting connection between gut health and muscle strength. By improving your gut microbiota composition and reducing intestinal permeability, UA may further support muscle health and fatigue resistance. So the recommended dose for Urolithin A based on clinical trials is typically at 500 milligrams per day. That's a dose that's been shown to effectively improve mitochondrial health, muscle function, and endurance in older adults. So in summary about Urolithin A's benefits, Urolithin A enhances mitophagy and enhances mitochondrial health as a result. We are clearing out the damaged mitochondria to maintain cellular energy efficiency and support healthy aging. Urolithin A also helps increase muscle strength and endurance, particularly in aging populations, offering potential benefits for combating that sarcopenia that comes with increased age. And by reducing chronic inflammation, UA supports overall health and helps maintain mitochondrial and metabolic function. Finally, there's emerging evidence suggesting that UA can improve gut health, which in turn enhances muscle strength and resistance to fatigue. So thank you again for tuning into this episode for optimizing energy through foundational habits and cutting-edge longevity science. So today we covered some really powerful strategies, from improving mitochondrial function with NAD plus precursors like NMN and NR to boosting energy with CoQ10, PQQ, and Urolithin A. So these supplements are not only about helping you feel more energized day to day, but they're also tools to support long-term health and vitality as we age. So if you found these insights helpful and want to dive even deeper, be sure to catch me live on Noon Vibe from 12 to 1 p.m. Mondays through Friday, or you can subscribe and follow on platforms such as YouTube and Spotify for the recorded versions, including the videos. You can also find me on Instagram, now TikTok as well, at Hillary Lynn MD, HILLARYLINMD, to stay updated on upcoming content. I'd love for you to join in this growing community of health enthusiasts and longevity seekers. So next time we'll be diving even more deeply into the advanced interventions, including peptides, hormonal support, and senolytics. So these are topics that could take your energy optimization and overall wellness to the next level. Until then, stay tuned and stay healthy.